The next job I had after the factory was as a file clerk at an office which designed some kind of industrial equipment. In retrospect, I think it was kind of an interesting thing to juxtapose, going from a sullen, grumpy blue-collar environment to a grumpy, sullen white-collar environment. My duties could not have been simpler. I would hang out in an area by this big filing cabinet which held all the schematic diagrams. Throughout the day, people would come to my post and ask something like, "May I have a print of 2258 RP7V, please?" And I'd say, "Certainly. I would be delighted to make you a print of 2258 RP7V. Then I'd find the diagram in the cabinet, and I'd feed it into this big rolling duplicating thing which made a copy in blue ink, and then I'd go, "Here is your copy of 2258 RP7V. And they'd say, "Thank you for this copy of 2258 RP7V. Aside from keeping the cabinet organized, that was about it. Needless to say, it was pretty low stress. I think I was slightly intimidated by the idea of working in an office because I had this mental notion that if everyone was very serious and wearing business suits, something very mature, grown up, and important must be going on. I wanted to see for myself, so I made a conscious decision to not interact with anyone too much and just watch people. First, I remember noticing this woman who would frequently come in with fashion magazines. The funny thing is, whatever the model was wearing on the cover, she would be wearing that exact thing the following Monday morning. I also remember these two mid-level executives that appeared to be having some sort of a rivalry, because when one of them would get a fancy new desk chair, the other would get one just like it. And then they did the same thing with their desks, and then with their Italian leather briefcases. I stopped paying attention when they both got a Mercedes E-Class, which I was pretty sure neither could actually afford. It was weird when I overheard people interacting socially, because conversations were so riddled with common expressions, I had a hard time figuring out what anyone was talking about. They would sound roughly like this. "How you doing, big guy? Same old, same old. Hot enough for you? It's not how you play the game, it's if you win or lose. Well, back to the grindstone. TGIF. You got that right. Have a good one." For some reason, though, I especially remember the commute. Taking the bus through this huge office park of chrome, mirrored windows, and perfectly manicured lawns. It was difficult to tell any of the buildings apart. Also, if you were to shift your gaze down a few feet, you could see the faces of your fellow commuters. I'd heard before that every person you see is fighting some kind of a battle, but I really wasn't sure if I could handle knowing what it was. Anyway, I really didn't stay at that job for very long. I do remember thinking that I didn't think that this place was bad, and I certainly didn't think that any of the people were stupid. I just thought the whole thing was very, very normal. I do still sometimes wonder if I had stuck around longer, if today I would be more normal too. I've never figured out the answer to this.